I see Elidibus has chosen to keep odd company. Such a vexing composition of ether you possess.
I admit my own grasp on what just occurred is somewhat tenuous. Doubtless Lahabrea can elucidate matters for us.
I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, Lahabrea, and truth be told I had hoped we never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called himself Lahabrea? And why is he the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you've only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandæmonium. Did you think matters would simply sort themselves out?
I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandæmonium, including the fact that Azam and Elidibus had taken it upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation. For a time, that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the Keywards stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. While Hephaestos' deception was almost childish in its simplicity, it became plain to me that your grasp on the situation was slipping.
So you knew of his existence from the beginning? I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another to masquerade as one of the convocation. Not without good reason, at least.
As you well know, the name Lahabrea is but a marker of my station. 'Tis not the name I was born with. Hephaestos has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way. Yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire. All the emotions that we are loath to acknowledge within ourselves.
If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve?
He is the product of experimentation gone awry. A reminder of the days when I was yet young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury.
When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes. Blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so?
His words were but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. And now that he has awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandæmonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. As Chief Keyward of Pandæmonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed.
What? You would leave the other warders to their doom?
'Tis a choice befitting Lahabrea.
Do you disagree?
You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandæmonium if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet as you can see by Erichthonios' response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azam and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. 'Twas the only way I could truly determine the best solution.
And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The chief keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence.
Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No. You've spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea of the trials we've endured. The foes that K'nekotein has stood against.
K'nekotein, is it? A being of such ether as I have never seen. What are you?
She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, K'nekotein. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment.
Agreed. We still know next to nothing about Hephaestus, and I highly doubt Lahabrea has been forthcoming with the truth. But we've managed to regain control of Asphodelos. He must be made to see that there's merit in continuing on this path. I have it. Speak in your official capacity, as Elidibus the emissary. Judge which approach is more sound, and even Lahabrea would be compelled to listen.
As Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes?
I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time, seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward.
Very well. Then in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandæmonium outright and in taking time to rescue its researchers. And neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured choice would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness K'nekotein's might and Erichthonios' resolve. I would ask that you see our capabilities firsthand, and only then decide if our endeavor is futile.
If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandæmonium.
You needn't worry about that, we won't fail.
You are bolder than I remember.
and you're even more tedious than I remember. K'nekotein, come find me when you're finished.
Erichthonios is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear heads. Pray lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight might be lightened.
You have done all you can with words. Only your actions can convince me now.
Despite recent developments, our plan remains unchanged. Pray call me Themis for the time being, it shall put us all in the correct mindset, and in fact I may be coming to prefer that name.
You do have my gratitude, ill-fit as I am to show it at the moment. Without your words to sway him, Lahabrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. When at first we realized the creations had slipped their bonds, the other Keywards did all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold. Secrets that would be buried if Pandæmonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While Lahabrea was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more, it was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not Lahabrea that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, K'nekotein? Does the Lahabrea you know have any regard for the lives of others? Or will he carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? What would possess him to do that? Even for Lahabrea, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were made known. I can't imagine how much your ally suffered. But it is plain there is much to consider. Thank you, K'nekotein. It's easy for me to get carried away by emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, proving to Lahabrea that we are capable of saving Pandæmonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that will be to regain control of Abyssos. Although I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about those depths than any of us. And seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford. K'nekotein, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities, and may deign to help at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. Researchers of different layers seldom contact one another unless work is involved, and I know next to nothing about the Keyward of Abyssos. Any morsels of information Lahabrea can offer would be a boon.
Despite recent developments, our plan remains unchanged. Pray call me Themis for the time being, it shall put us all in the correct mindset, and in fact I may be coming to prefer that name.
Erichthonios appears to have a deep trust in you. Analytics tells me you share some relation to ism. Your unusual ether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I have seen, even among the countless concepts I have observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand. Ism never ceases to surprise. The previous ism was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Just as you and Elidibus have conducted yourselves in this matter. The true danger of ism's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with.
Emmett Selch said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty.
And yet you so frivolously invoke your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however, only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it. Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within.
The chief keyword's reach is far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to?
I sense no creations of note. Perhaps they have been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they have been transferred to the deeper circles. Yet Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. I speak of Hegemone, Keyward of Abyssos. Although her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work.
If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that's because she's already been twisted into a Hegemone. Doubtless against her will. K'nekotein Khpein, we must rescue her from that cruel fate. And if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find a means to undo the damage.
Your allies make you bold, Erichthonios. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Hegemone was a woman of reason and logic. She would never be swayed by Hephaestus' wretched schemes. I hope she was not made to suffer overmuch.
Let us not change a strategy that has served us so well thus far. Bring Hegemone to heal, K'nekotein, and Erichthonios, and I shall inter her when the time is right.
Now we prove our strength. Only then can we free the other warders, and unveil the truth hidden in Pandæmonium's shadows.
Abyssos is my charge, and I shall not shirk my duty. Be swept away in a flood of evil. From the inside out. cannot measure against the keyword.
We've won. I could sense from here that Hegemone had been contained. The effect of Hephaestos' tinkering is even more dire than I had imagined.
As is to be expected, Erichthonios appears quite pleased with our victory.
We've won. The keyword is sealed away, and alive this time. Lahabrea can't deny us now.